The arrangement that I'm using for Robert Plant's Big Log is pretty much the original arrangement as best I can remember it from hearing Robbie Blunt play it. I've seen a couple of other guitar teachers show how to do this on YouTube, and there's a mistake that I see in pretty much every presentation. It almost leads me to believe that one of the guitar teachers posted it first, and the other guitar teachers used his version because they all make the same mistake. And there are a few very interesting things that happen, so I want to point those out in the guitar lesson that will follow this. But first, I'm going to go ahead and just present Robert Plant's Big Log. This is a really, really fun song to play and a good song to do solo. And you can use exactly the same arrangement if you do it with a band. Passions will rise as the cities glide by. The taillights dissolve in the coming of night, and the questions in thousands take flight. Miles and miles of the waiting, the eyes that just stare, and the glance at the clock. The secrets that burn, and the pain that grows dark, and it's you once again, leading me on, leading me down the road, driving beyond, driving me down the road. Exceedingly vivid, red-eyed and fevered with the hum of the miles, the questions and longing my thoughts to provide. Should I rest for a while at the side? Your love is cradled in knowing, eyes in the mirror, still expecting they'll come, sensing too well when the journey is done. There is no turning back. No, there is no turning back. On the run. Okay, I'm going to break apart Robert Plant's Big Log for you. When this song came out, all of us guitarists were just astounded at this amazing, beautiful sound that Robbie Blunt got on the guitar, and we were all wondering how the heck to get that sound. Well, to get the sound on Big Log, what you do is you take a Stratocaster and you plug it into an amplifier. That's pretty much it. You can add a little chorus or a little bit of delay, but that's it's just a classic Stratocaster sound. This Music Man gets something relatively similar. I like this guitar a little bit better than a Strat. Leo Fender learned a thing or two along the way designing guitars. So the A minor 7 chord is pretty much the basis of the song. And a lot of this song is very easy, so I'm not going to I'm not going to belabor this too much, but you just got this nice little run that shows up on a regular basis, but the rhythms change on it. So it's just starts on the F on the E string. So 1, 3. So you got to slide up from 3 to 5, and then you play 3 to 5 on the A string. Now that right there, you play the F, and then you play a little double stop here, but you're going to arpeggiate it. So you're playing an A on the E string, and then a C on the A string, and then you'll play the open D, and then the A minor 7 chord. Then you got this nice little lead, which is very easy for you to figure out. So it'll start on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then move over to the 2nd fret of the G string. So since all of that happens on the G string, I'll just leave that for you to figure out. It's very, very simple. But what comes after it, it changes each of the 3 times that lead shows up. So on the first time the lead shows up, you get the entire exposition of the fallout from the lead. So you after this little lead, you get... and actually, at the end of this lead... where you play that note, the 2nd fret on the G, that's the only time that it ends there on the lead. But the first time on the lead, it's going to end on that one note, and then it'll do these quick little double stops down to an F major 7. So the double stops are just they're on the G and B strings, so it's the 5th fret of both strings. Then it'll go to the 4th on the G, 3rd on the B, 2nd on the G, 1st on the B. So it's basically C, B minor, A minor, and then an F major 7. And then you'll have a similar set of runs, but this time on the D and G strings. So it starts on 7 and 5, then it's 5 and 4, then it's 3 and 2, and then an E minor chord. Now he's going to bend the G string from the 2nd fret and play the E string. So it bends the G string up, plays the E string, and does a pull off from the 2nd fret, and then hits the 2nd fret on the D. So I'll play that for you. Now I'll do another set of double stops from this time on the A and D strings. So you play 7 and 5, 5 and 3, 3 and 2, and then a D minor 7 or a D minor chord. Then you're going to play those same double stops again to the A minor 7. Okay, so now I'm going to go back through the lead. I'm just going to play the whole lead section for you very slowly so that you'll have all of those pieces that you can put together. The next 2 times the lead shows up, different parts of it drop out. So the first time you get the entire lead. The next 2 times you only get pieces of it. I'm sorry. that gets you into the verse. So in the verse, and this is where I find that one mistake that shows up in pretty much every version I've seen other guitar teachers do on YouTube. You've got this nice little run. My love is in league with the freeway. So you got this run. This is the same run at the beginning. When you hit the A7, the A minor 7, then you got this G power chord to an A power chord. It's just 3 on the E string and 5 on the A string, and it'll slide up 2 frets, and then it'll restate the A minor 7. So. Now this is where the mistake happens, because every other guitar teacher I've seen on YouTube tries to do the same thing one string up. That's not what Robbie Blunt does. And it'll sound wrong. And I noticed that it sounded wrong, which is why I went back and listened to the original. So what he's actually doing, there's a riff that he does twice. So that riff that happens twice, it starts on the A string on the 3rd fret. So it's the 3rd fret on the A, 2nd fret on the G, and then it plays the G string. The 2nd fret on the D, and then it'll play the G string open, and then play the 2nd fret and do a pull off, and then the D minor chord, and then you've got the power chord from a C to a D. Just like just like he did here. It's just over 1 string. But the entire run isn't the same thing over 1 string. So it starts with this. It'll restate the D minor chord, and then it'll do this little riff again, which is the 3rd fret on the A, 2nd fret on the D, open, and then a pull off from the 2nd fret on the G. And then I'm using my thumb to hit the 3rd fret on the E string, and I'm barring the 3rd fret on the E and B strings on the top. And then the whole thing repeats. So I'll do that part of the verse slowly for you. Okay, now there's that nice little riff there that happens in the middle of the verse, and that's just an A minor 7, arpeggiated from the A string up to the B string, then an F, arpeggiated from the D string to the E string, and then a G, arpeggiated again the same way as the F. So then the second time that when the rest of the verse ends, what you get is. So this time it'll take that little riff and it'll go down to cover the 1st fret on that. And it's you once again. So you got this little bridge here, which has got some interesting chords in it. So it starts on an F, and that is an F minor 7. Just bar from the D string, bar the 1st fret from the D string to the E string. And then you got this nice little chord. And you're arpeggiating from the A string to the B string on this. So bar the 4th fret across the strings, and then play the 6th fret on the D string and the 5th fret on the G string, and then you're going to play that from the A up to the B. And then you got a C7 chord with a raised 3rd. So you do a, just like you do a C7 chord, but raise the third by bringing your little finger up a half step. And if you cover a lot of Robbie Blunt songs, you'll realize that this is one of his favorite chords. And then to the F, and then it'll repeat that. Driving beyond, driving me down the road. And then he just goes back and forth between that C7 with the raised third to the F, ends on the C7 with the raised third. And then it'll do that little transitional riff that happens in the middle of the verse, starting on the third fret of the A string. And you've done that little riff before as well at the beginning of the song. So it's playing the first fret of the E string and then doing the arpeggiation of the double stop here from 5 on the E string to 3 on the A string to the open D, and then the A minor 7 chord, and then you'll do the melody again. This time when you play the lead, instead of ending on that note, it's going to end on the F major 7, and then you're immediately back into the second verse. My love is exceedingly vivid. Second verse is very much like the first verse, but it ends differently. So when you get to the end of the second verse, your love is cradled in knowing. Eyes in the mirror, still expecting they'll come. Sensing too well when the journey is done. There is no turning back. No, there's no turning back. On the run, no new licks there, but it's just a rearrangement of the way that they're done. And then you're going to come back and do the lead again. This time, the lead is stated a little bit differently. You're not doing the full lead from the beginning of the song. Still going to end that first iteration right there in the F major 7 and then do these double stops to the A minor. So you're skipping this set of double stops right here. The only time that shows up is the very first iteration of the lead. So the second lead, or I'm sorry, the third lead will go like this. So it's very similar to the first lead, but just there's a measure of it that's got out. We talk about the ending of the song now. So you've got this very familiar part from the verse. My love, is in league with the freeway. So it actually skips forward just a little bit, so it'll play that first part of the verse riff. And this time, what happens is Robert Plant waits and staggers the beginning of the My Love section so that it occurs just a little bit later in the verse structure. So at the end, you have something that's similar to the verse structure, but it's collapsed a little bit. So let me play that ending so that you can catch where that collapse happens. Okay, now I don't know if this is the actual lead that Robbie Blunt's doing at the end, but I'm playing something reasonably similar to it. And one of the nice effects is this is kind of a rake across the strings where you mute all of the strings except the one that you're going to play, and then just rake across them. So it's just a nice little lead effect. The way that I'm doing that, there's my scale. So I'm gonna rake across, and then I'm gonna end up on the 13th fret on the B string, and then I'm just going 12, 13, 14, 12, 13, 15, and then 12 on the E string, and then when I rake across this time, I'm gonna end up on the 15th fret on the E, and I'm just playing that scale down, and then I do it again. And I don't think that's a transition that shows up in the actual arrangement that Robbie Blunt did, but I'm doing something different because I'm going to end the song instead of waiting to fade out, because I'm usually doing this as a solo piece. So I'm just doing this little turn on the G string from 7 to 9, and then open, and then stretching on the 9th fret, and then coming back. There's the ending that I put on the song. So hopefully that'll give you all the materials you need to put together your version, either a solo version or a band version of Robert Plant's Big Log with all these wonderful guitar lines by Robbie Blunt. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can make use of this, and I hope you visit me at www.robertbrucescott.com.